Hello my lovely people, and welcome to your weekly angelic guidance, and this is for the week of the 13th of April with me, Julie, on the sofa, and Oscar. So get yourself a tea, get yourself a coffee, get yourself comfy. Let's see what we've got going on for this week. So, a lot going on, my love. So, first of all, why am I late? Well, I'm not late. I mean, it's the 11th, so this is for the 13th, but I do normally upload every Thursday. I wasn't able to work on Thursday. I needed to take a step back and just allow all these very intense energies to settle. And many of you will have felt that this week. This week just gone, that we're just finishing off now. We had that huge pink supermoon in Libra on Wednesday morning. It was for us here, 3 o'clock in the morning in the UK. You had it on the 7th, we had it on the 8th. But very intense energy coupled with Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter conjunctions, intensity, very, very intense, and a lot of emotions coming up for all of us. Now, since this whole lockdown started, I've been in lockdown for 4 weeks now, because I put myself into self-isolation early because I just come back from my holiday. And the day after I came back, on the 12th of March, they closed the airports, and I felt it was the safe and right thing to do to self-isolate for 2 weeks. And the second week into that, the country shut down anyway. So I'm kind of a week ahead of everybody else in the UK. And that's fine. But the energies have been very, very intense this week, and also this week coming. Okay, so we're in this sort of 2-week eye of the storm, if you like. All right, now why do I say that? This energy is all about the Great Awakening. We are in the Great Awakening. Okay, I've been involved in this movement, spiritual awakening, since something like 1982, and we knew it was coming, the event, the awakening, and we knew that 2012 was kick-starting that. There was a build-up, 2011. Some of you are not going to know what I'm talking about. Sorry, bear with me. For those of you who do know what I'm talking about, this is all about ascension and ascending into this higher vibration. And this current situation that we're in is part of that, this great awakening. Now, what it's doing is it's waking up many people to a spiritual awareness, a deeper awareness that there's more to this, there's something deeper going on. Many people are waking up, and what we're doing is feeling that vibration, and the very, very beautiful global meditation that we all did, many of us, many millions, and when we include those upstairs, as I call them, in the higher realms, there was several, well, they told me 4 billion energies came together last Saturday night, Sunday morning, to do that global meditation, to raise the consciousness, and it was phenomenal. It was wonderful. So this 2-week period, and it is worth talking about the 2 weeks rather than just the 1 week to help you understand. The energy builds, and it's kind of the crux of it that we're in right now. Okay, 10th, 11th, 12th. This is the most intense energy, all right, and that full moon really helped kickstart it. What it's doing is bringing up, and it has for many of you, lots of different feelings. For me this week, I would normally be uploading and doing my YouTube work on Thursday, and the full moon energy was so intense, there were so many emotions coming up for me, that I just said, I'm not working today, I'm going to sit with this, and I'm going to feel it, and I'm going to release it and allow it. So what sort of things and why? All right, so as a therapist and as a spiritual teacher, I'm still human, I have emotions within me too. What was strong for me was feeling disempowered, trapped, no choices, no control, and I could really feel that, and I sat with it, and a lot of it, my angels told me, was to do with past life stuff where we have been imprisoned and trapped, and that coming up and working its way through. And it was important that I sat with that and allowed it to go. And many of you, my darling people, are going to be feeling the same thing, okay? Wherever you are in the world, however many weeks or days you've been in this isolation lockdown, you will be feeling, so many of you, this sense of, I've lost my choices, okay? And I can't do what I want to do, and it makes me feel helpless and frightened. And that's all right. We sit with it and we say, okay, thank you for showing me that. This is temporary, it'll pass, but it's an opportunity for those emotions, some of you from this life, some of you from past lives, for it to move up and move through you and be neutralized and cleared. And that's important to say. Now, it's an opportunity for us to raise our vibration, all right, to get more into the heart, to get more into the feelings. It's an opportunity to transform, change, the revealing of the truths globally, energetically, and within each of us. That's what's going on. So there's all sorts of deeper truths coming up. How do I feel about this? What do I feel? Where has that come from? How long has it been there? Feeling these. We also, many people, what I've been picking up, because obviously I'm very in tune with energy, so this has been quite challenging for many of us who are empathic and who are, especially I work with energy, and those of you that work with energy will be feeling all of this chaos. And what we do is we work with it, not against it. Surrender, allow, coming into it. But one of the energies that will be coming up for a lot of people is grief. Now, this was something that really came through very strongly in one of my meditations this week. I've been meditating a lot this week to be able to deal with all of this. Now, why grief? Okay, grief isn't just about when somebody dies, and obviously there is a lot of death at the moment and there are people grieving, and we send our heart and love to you. But for those of us who haven't lost anybody, it's a grief, it's a loss of our freedoms, of our jobs, of our hobbies, interests, all of it, all right? When you have a way of life and all of a sudden that way of life is completely wiped away, it's absolutely natural to feel this sense of grief, okay? Now, there are 5 stages of grief. All right, the first stage is denial. This isn't happening, I'll just pretend it's not happening. And right, denial is normal, and that's a coping mechanism. The 5 stages are all coping mechanisms. Then the second one is anger. This isn't fair, this isn't right, this is awful, rah, 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 have a good rant. The third stage is depression, where we feel really, really sad and helpless and horrible. And then we come into bargaining. If I do this, perhaps I can do that, and then I can maybe cope. And finally, we come into acceptance. All right, and that's where the peace is, in the acceptance. Now, we don't go through these 5 stages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can go 1, 4, 2, 3, 5, 1, back. All right. That's okay. So it's saying, look, whatever I'm feeling, and that full moon was bringing all of that up, whoosh, not to hurt you, to help you, to say, look, all those feelings that are turbulent inside you that you might be denying or you might be ignoring, sit and watch Netflix, ignore everything that's going on inside until you can't ignore what's going on inside, and then you work with it. All right, so that's what's been going on, and I'm telling you all this because many of you will have been feeling all of that, and I want you to have understanding and knowledge. All right, knowledge is power, and power makes us feel empowered. All right, so when we understand what am I feeling and why, then it's much easier to work with it and deal with it. Okay, all right, now I'm going to I'm going to put some links in the description box at the top for some of the things that I found helpful this week, okay, that you can have a look at, that you might find them helpful. One of them is an astrologer I found called Coulter, excuse me, and he's an evolutionary astrologer. So how is the astrology affecting our evolution, our growth. Lovely, lovely energy, beautiful meditations within his astrology, and I'll link that that post that he did about the full moon, and you can have a look at that. It helped me, so it might help you. The other thing that I will put in there is a beautiful film. It's been out for quite some time. It's called Finding Joe, and it's by, hang on, I just need to look at it. Okay, it's by Patrick Solomon, and it stars Deepak Chopra and lots of spiritual teachers and other people. It's a full-length HD film, an hour and 20 minutes, and it's just beautiful. All right, so if you want to watch that, it's free, it's on YouTube, and he said please share this widely, so I have. So that will help you. The links will be in the description box below. Just click that little arrow, the more, that will open that up, and you'll see those links there, and hopefully that will help you. The other thing they're telling me to tell you is to really try to limit yourself from the amount of exposure to the outside media, the news, all right? The news is incredibly biased and negative. Yes, we need to be kept informed, but I've actually stopped watching the television this week because it just became overloaded, overwhelming, and like, no. So, you know, I pick up the bits of news that I need to from little snippets on YouTube, 2 minutes worth of the BBC News or whatever. That's enough. So try to limit your exposure from all of this fear-mongering, and it's whipping up the pot to whip up fear. And fear is our enemy. Let's allow ourselves to come from the heart and overcome the fear. Just allow it. This is going to pass. This too shall pass. In terms of when, this 2 weeks that I've talked about, this intensity of the week of the 6th and the week of the 13th, this is now, we're moving through the worst of it in terms of the energy up in planetary, but also in terms of the virus itself, okay? So as we come through the week of the 13th and we get past the 15th, 16th, astrologically things begin to settle down and we're coming out of the storm. And by the time that we get to the following week, which is going to be, what, about the 20th, we're starting to feel it calmer. It's calming down, all right? Does that mean we're going to be out of lockdown? No. I felt from the beginning this was going to go on to the first week of May, around the 7th, 8th of May for most people. But the knock-on effect, I feel the worst of it's going to be over by then. And then it's going to be another probably 6 weeks, end of June into July, before we start to really feel that we're getting our freedoms back. Okay. All right. Now, anything else I want to tell you? Okay. Yeah. So they're saying to me, I've been quite triggered this week, which is why I've had to take a step back and look at those triggers. One of those triggers that was coming up very strongly this week was justice and fairness. So I've seen various posts about people who are not adhering to the lockdown, and I was in outrage, you know, caravans, people going on holiday when we are in lockdown and they're breaking the law, and I was being triggered, and I sat with that. Why am I so triggered by this? You know, I'm not responsible for other people, I'm responsible for me. And I sat with it and I realized it's linked with the full moon, which is in Libra, which is all about justice and fairness. And what that does is trigger that I'm doing my thing, why aren't you doing yours? That's not fair. It triggers that injustice and lock them up, and sort them out, and all of those triggers. And right, allow it. Say, okay, this is showing me that this is to do with I follow the rules and you should too, imposing my stuff on other people, which we can't do. We can't do. You're responsible for you, I'm responsible for me. All right, stepping back, stepping into your power, stepping into your calmness. What else has been triggering? My son was very, very ill on Sunday, which is one of the reasons I've been quiet this week. It wasn't COVID-19. He collapsed on Sunday morning and was rushed into hospital and had to have emergency surgery for a perforated bowel. He had a temperature of 105, 40.9, which is very, very dangerous, on the verge of sepsis, and it was a very scary time. As a mother, it was very scary. It was scary for him. He's home, he's had the surgery, he's recovering, and he's okay. But what I found it was triggering in me was, as a mother, I wanted to get in the car and go to him, and I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed out. I'm not allowed to drive there. I'm not allowed to sit and hold his hand. I had to sit at home and wait for news. The feeling of disempowerment, helplessness, panic was overwhelming. And I just had to go into that space. Now, lots of you are having similar things going on. Now, what's important to do is we hold it and own it and allow it to move through us, okay? Obviously, I took some action. I posted on Facebook, please send healing for my son. I sat in a healing space. I reached out to very powerful healers that I know, and we all sent help and healing. So we can take action, but we also want to sit with, what are we feeling about this? All right. Now we're going to start to feel that whole energy of emotion start to calm down as we come into this week of the 13th. Good. Okay. So by about Wednesday, Thursday, we'll feel a little bit more settled, a little bit calmer. Watch for those triggers, and when you do get triggers, allow them, okay? Just go, okay, that's really, I got a reaction in me about that. Why? All right, why? Why is this so important? Why is this, and what is it triggering within me? So we sit with it and we work it through. And then you can meditate on it, journal on it, write it. Do what you need to do. Reach out and talk to people on your, on the phone, your friends, your family. Reach out for support when you need it. But this is all about the way through this is allowing and surrender, noticing what you feel and working with those feelings and allowing them to move through you. All right. Now I've talked quite a lot, but they wanted me to go through that with you, and I hope that has helped. Now, let's see what the cards want to add. I don't think we need many cards, but just a little bit more information. Tell me about this week of the 13th for my beautiful watchers, please. Okay, I've got the 2 of coins, and I want at the bottom of the deck, the 10 of swords. So this is the sort of thing that we are talking about. That 10 of swords is anxiety and overwhelm. Overwhelm, I can't cope, it's too much. My fear and my anxiety is through the roof. All right. And what we've got there with the 2 of coins, which is a card of balance. All right. What you're doing is trying to balance those emotions, that anxiety, that feeling of overwhelm. You're balancing it out by working with it from the heart and with love. And obviously, I say obviously, it is for me, obviously, call upon the help from the higher realms, from your spiritual team, from your angels, your guides, your loved ones. Call upon any help that's around you. You are not on your own. You are not alone, and you can do this. All right. Now, what else? I want a card from the wisdom of the oracle. And it's one of the reasons, all of this intense energy, why I haven't been able to sort of do extra, come on live, give you lots of support. I've had to. Also, I'm supporting a lot of private clients, and I'm also having to support me. Okay. And I live alone. I'm single, so I'm not getting support from a partner. I have to give myself everything that I need. All right. And you need to do that too. All right. Now, if you've got a partner that will help you, give you a cuddle, give you a hug. My God, I needed a hug on Sunday and there was nobody to hug me. So I hugged the dog, which was great, but it's not the same. Reach out for those around you for a hug. Hugs are so healing, so healing. God, I miss hugs. I mean, I live alone, but I would normally go out socializing 2 or 3 times a week, have friends in the various places I go, and they always give me a hug when I go in. That's my dose of hugs, and I'm missing it. So I was lying in bed last night and I was hugging me, and I was saying, I love you, Judy. You're all right. I've got you. All right. We need to give to ourselves what we need, and you can do this. All right. You've got a change in the wind. Now, good. This is what I'm saying. We know we're going through this chaos and conflict, all right? You've got zebra there, the black and the white. the yin and the yang, the polarities, the dark and the light, the white hats, the black hats, all of that stuff, okay? It's changing. We're in this change. Think about, when I say the eye of the storm, think of the storm as blasting everything that doesn't serve us away. All right. And yet it's not comfortable. Of course it's not comfortable. It's not easy either. But we've got this. We chose to be here at this time. All right. This is exciting. This is amazing. This awakening that we're in, that's opening the new golden age, the new golden dawn, the Aquarian age, freedom, liberation, change, equality, fairness. All of that's coming in. How long is it going to take? The whole process? About 10 years. All right, by 2030, we'll be more or less where we want to be. But we need to go through some turbulence to get there. All right. But every time there is a change in the wind, it's blasting away. And this is the bit I need you to really hear. It's blasting away what does not serve us. It's blasting away corruption and discourse and disempowerment and poverty and debt slavery, and it's blasting away the bad stuff, right? Now, when you focus on it's blasting away everything I've built up for my whole life, you're going to feel absolutely awful. I want you to hold on to, this is blasting away everything that needed to go so that we can rebuild a world based on truth, fairness. Right, all the planetary stuff that's going on is to do with falls of kings, falls of corruption, falls of the bad stuff, okay? So trust that we're in this change, and this week coming up now of the 13th is this big intensity passing through of that change that is happening behind the scenes on this planet and up there, all right? That there is a collective shifting forward into a better time. So hold that faith and trust. I want another one. Tell me a bit more then, please. Oh, no, we can't. Oh, yeah, we can. Okay, then all of these? No, that one. Okay. We're going through a time of regeneration, all right? We have that change in the wind, and then we have regeneration. Right? We are rising up like the phoenix out of the ashes, creating a new world, creating something beautiful, something better. We've got soulmates, right? So many of you are already with your soulmate. Others use your soul tribe. This is what wants to come in. We're at this fork in the road. We are going on a new timeline, the ascension timeline. We're going in a different way, which is better. We need to breathe, really important, and focus on the here and now. Okay, so we've talked about what is this all about and where are we going? And I've said, yeah, in 10 years' time, we're going to be where we want to be. But we're going to start feeling in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time, we're going to look back and go, God, everything's changed so much and for the better, and it needed to, all right? But in the meantime, while we're going through this change, bring your attention into the here and now, right here, right now, right? Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, not 2030, now. Bring your attention into the now and breathe. Now, if you can do this 2 or 3 times a day, just sit quietly, not for ages, and not even having to go into a deep meditation. Just sit quietly and focus on 2, 3, 4, 5 deep breaths. And a deep breath. It recenters you. It recenters you, all right? And it brings your body into a place of, I got this, I've got this, I've got this. And you have, you absolutely have, my darlings. You absolutely have. So here and now, and breathe, okay? All right, my lovely people, that is what I have for you. I am sending you all my love, my heart to yours, as always. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps other people to find it. When it's got lots of likes, it shows up more on YouTube. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Click that little bell so you don't miss a thing. You take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.